Okay, let's picture this. It's the middle of the night, you feel some strange new ache or pain, and your very first instinct is to grab your phone. We have all been there. So, in this explainer, we are going to build a really practical plan to handle those late night health worries so you can finally break out of that doom scrolling trap for good. But first, a really important safety note. What we're talking about here is educational information. It is not a substitute for real medical advice. If you're having symptoms like chest pain, trouble breathing, or if you're having thoughts of self-harm, please seek immediate real-world help right away.
All right, let's start with something I think a lot of us know all too well, the 2 a.m. spiral. It's that moment when a weird physical feeling and grabbing your phone to search for it feel like they are completely fused together.
Yeah, our brain makes this little bargain with itself, right? It thinks, if I can just understand what this is, I'll finally be able to relax. But as we know, it almost always does the exact opposite. It just escalates the fear instead of soothing it.
This spiral follows such a predictable pattern. It starts with that flare of pain, which triggers this flood of what-if questions. Then you search, and the search immediately gives you the absolute worst-case scenarios. And then the alarm you feel actually makes the original pain feel even worse. It becomes this really powerful, nasty feedback loop.
And it is so important to know this is not some kind of personal failing. At night, when all the distractions of the day are gone, our brains naturally shift into a threat scan mode. So the exact same sensation you might just brush off during the day can feel totally catastrophic at 2 a.m. because your brain is literally wired to hunt for danger. So this brings us right to the core of the problem. Why does our go-to coping tool, the online search, actually make everything so much worse? Well, it turns out there are some pretty powerful psychological and technological traps at play here. Think about that feeling for a second, that compulsion, that urge to do just one more search, because you're convinced the very next click is going to be the one that finally lets you relax. What is that feeling really all about? Well, it's about something called the uncertainty tax. Your brain is desperately trying to buy a feeling of certainty, and it's trying to pay for it with more and more searching. The problem is, the internet can't sell you what you're looking for, because it doesn't know you, your health history, or the context of what you're feeling. And this highlights a really crucial difference in our goal. Are we actually problem solving, or are we just seeking reassurance? See, problem solving is all about finding a clear next step. Reassurance seeking, it just wants to feel better right now, and that temporary relief is what fuels the endless, exhausting loop. And here is the technological trap. Search engines aren't designed for medical probability. They're designed for engagement. Really rare, scary conditions get a ton of clicks, so they rise to the top of the search results. And your anxious brain sees top result and unconsciously translates that to most likely cause. That's the trap. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a powerful, self-reinforcing loop. So what on earth are we supposed to do instead? Well, we create an exit ramp, a structured, much safer plan to use when you feel that urge to search. So here's our framework. It's a simple 3-step plan. First, you filter for genuine red flags. Second, you interrupt the alarm signal in your body. And third, you capture the symptom in a way that's actually useful. Let's break down exactly how to do each one. All right, time to get practical. This is your toolkit for the next time you're wide awake at 2 a.m. and feeling worried. Step 1 is the red flag filter. Look, this is not about diagnosing yourself. This is a simple safety check. Do you have any of these go now symptoms? If the answer is yes, you stop everything and get immediate medical help. This list is designed to end that late night debate with yourself. And that is the key. The filter's only job is to help you decide whether it's safe to wait until morning. It is not designed to tell you the cause of what you're feeling. It's a decision-making tool, pure and simple. Okay, so you've used the filter and there are no red flags. Now, before you do anything else, you run the 90-second interrupt. First, calm your body. Take 6 slow breaths, making sure you exhale for longer than you inhale. Then just label what's happening in your mind. This is a threat scan. And finally, change your environment. Put your phone just out of arm's reach. And remember, the goal here is not to make the symptom magically disappear. It's simply to lower your body's alarm state enough so that your thinking brain can actually come back online. And this brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful step. Instead of searching online, you're going to capture the symptom in a 7-line note. You're literally transforming that free-floating anxiety into structured, useful data that a doctor can actually work with. The reason this works so well is that it gives your brain what it was desperately looking for all along. Not a diagnosis from Google, but a concrete plan. Taking this action gives you a sense of control that endless searching promises, but can never, ever deliver. And look, you don't have to perfect this entire system overnight. To get started, you only need to focus on one single, concrete action to begin changing the pattern. Just one. Here it is. In fact, let's just do it right now. It takes less than a minute. Open your phone. Move your web browser app off your home screen. Then, open your Notes app and create a new blank note titled Symptom Note. You're making the old habit just a little bit harder and the new plan a whole lot easier. That is how you set yourself up for success. Ultimately, this isn't about willpower or trying to ban yourself from ever searching again. The goal is so much more realistic and empowering. It's to simply never let that search spiral run your night and ruin your sleep ever again. Because the real question you're asking at 2 a.m. is one that Google couldn't possibly answer. And that question is, do I need immediate care right now, or do I just need my nervous system to settle down? With this 3-step structure, filter, interrupt, capture, you finally have a reliable way to answer that for yourself.